shot to do what?
And then I looked it up, and then I couldn't feel anything in my toes for 6 days. So, on this episode, Dianna Russini, Mike Vrabel scandal takes a crazy turn just when you thought it was over. MLB panic meter. I'm in my Mets gear just for a little spoiler / foreshadowing. And NBA and NHL playoffs technically kick off tonight for the NBA. I don't know about the NHL, but we'll get into most dangerous teams, Cinderella stories, anything. Maybe a little bit of prediction stuff, but all that stuff, because me and Bert, I don't know if you guys noticed, we haven't been around in like a month.
No.
Yeah, we were in Sedona with Mike Vrabel, and we kind of got him into a little bit of trouble.
Sports.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Stuff About Sports, presented by the Give Us a Shot Network, powered by Fast Break Coffee, and sponsored, as always, Bert, by the Hayes. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the first timers, last timers, and long timers. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your grandparents. We're your grandparents' favorite podcast, your mother's favorite podcast, your in-laws' favorite podcast. Yeah, it's good to be back. We haven't been here in about a month. We took a little bit of break. Not that there was anything pressing going on. Bert, how you doing, man?
Doing good. It's good to be back. We had some work travel, we had some work schedules, and we had some personal travel. So, I mean, that's why it's been a month, but it's good to get back to it, dust it off a little bit.
Yeah, all you little podcasters out there, gave you a little bit of time, try to get your levels up a little bit. I didn't see much growth at all. Hey.
I mean, it's been 4 weeks and we've still somehow done more episodes than Divide has recently, so it's fine.
That's right.
Can't wait for Powers to land and give me shit for that one.
Yep.
So look out for that text. Sorry, boss. Had to do it.
Now's the time to do it because he's in there. He's not going to see this until like tomorrow. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for him. I don't know, man. He might pay for that plain Wi-Fi. We'll see. But he seems like a first-class $32 plain Wi-Fi guy. Yeah, I don't know. I want to.
If Wi-Fi, I'm still paying for Wi-Fi. If it's $32, I don't care. Like
so
need,
it
especially
depends
if there's
on
no entertainment. Like
yeah,
I need something.
There it is.
Yeah.
So when we flew the flight from Tampa to North Carolina is an hour and some change.
Yeah.
There was no way I was paying $24 for the Wi-Fi. So me and my wife suffered on the way. But on the way back, shout out to Netflix, allowing you to download, and Prime Video does this too, allows you to download episodes or whatever you want to watch and save it in the app. That way, when you're offline, you can watch it with no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So shout out to Netflix. We started The Recruit. And then we were saddened to know that The Recruit has actually been out for a few years and they canceled it after season 2. It's like one of those shows that has a lot of people you've seen and stuff before and you don't know their names. I'm pretty sure the main actor was the Atom Smasher in the Black Adam movie, like the kid that played the Atom Smasher, the dude that grew like super big. I think that's him. He looks like him anyway. So, but it's a very good show. And I'm really upset that we got onto it too late because now it's over. And there's nothing after season 2, and it ended on a cliffhanger, which really fucking sucks. Netflix, you do some things really well. Shit like that is not one of them. I can't imagine it was a bad show for them, but we finished it up, and when we got back home, and I'm sad. So now we're gonna have to find another. They did the same thing. There was another show called Prodigal Son, where it was like the guy worked with the cops, but his dad was a serial killer. So he would go to he was like a profiler and like a genius profiler, but his dad was also a famous serial killer, and he would use his dad to help him catch other serial killers. And I enjoyed the shit out of that show. And that was another one that just, ended, and it only lasted 2 seasons, and there's, nowhere to go from it. So
that's that I will say, some of the best shows are the ones that don't get picked up, like a lot of the fan favorites. It is disheartening though when you see some of these trash shows carry on for seasons and seasons, and you're like, come on, man, give me one more good season of that show. But your boy from the Recruit, he's gonna be in the new Street Fighter movie I just saw. So he's playing Ken. Yeah.
He's Ken?
He's Ken. Yeah.
Listen,
honestly, the movie looks pretty interesting. I'll say that. But there's some cool casting. We'll see. It's probably just gonna be one of those movies it's probably terribly written but entertaining.
I can see that. It looks like it's a movie that knows, like, they knew it's hard to make it look serious, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they went out of their way to say, hey, we'll make a caricature of ourselves now. And then that way, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say that we were taking it serious, because that's, Mortal Kombat you can do that with, right? Like it's a serious enough, but there's a lot of unrealistic. Street Fighter's always been more campy, cartoony than Mortal Kombat. So that's how you should do it for Street Fighter. And I guess with, you could do that. You could make it serious with Mortal Kombat and make Street Fighter more goofy, I guess is what I'm trying to say in a long-winded type of way. But so as one door closes on movies and TV shows, another one opens. The sun rises and the sun sets, Bert. The sun sets on Sedona, Arizona. The sun sets on Mike Vrabel's marriage, 25-year marriage, seemingly. The sun sets on Dianna Russini's career. Because while we were away, there was a scandal involved with New York Times / The Athletic NFL insider Dianna Russini, formerly of ESPN, formerly of NBC, and head coach of the Patriots, AFC champion Patriots, Mike Vrabel, where they were photographed in Sedona, Arizona, on a rooftop in a hot tub. They're in bathing suits. Then there's other pictures where they're interlocking hands, they're intertwining fingers. By now, everybody has seen the photos at the resort. Basically, the engagement capital of the world. Like, you had insiders, coaches, front office people all over the place. And it's just a weird situation where it just looks from the photos that something else more is going on. And you can't tell me that it's just sourcing. It's not just reporting. You can't hold hands with your source at sunset at a private rooftop bungalow. It's like, there's conflict of interest. There's just inappropriate, non-professional behavior. They can be friends, but like, even if it is innocent, matter of fact, let me back up. Even if these photos, there's nothing going on sexually between the two. If this is just two people on a rooftop doing this, and people are defending it, which is crazy to me. If I saw photos of my significant other doing that, I would be upset. Bottom line, I like that. There's not a good enough reason to. I don't care if they've been friends forever. Like that shouldn't happen. Vrabel and his wife have been married for 25 years. Russini has 2 young kids and a husband that she's been publicly shitting on for the last 2 years. Like,
well, hindsight's 20/20 on that one too.
So, but that's the problem though, because now you're opening up the can of worms. Now everybody's digging. It's no different than you do something bad and then these nerds go to your Twitter from when you were 14 years old and you're yelling N-bombs on Call of Duty. Like it's like one of those, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. And it's like, and so you really got to be careful what you do. So, I don't know, man. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think this is a big deal? Not a big deal? Did it cross the line, or what's going on with
I think it's a big deal in an NFL offseason for sure when there's nothing else to talk about. I understand from, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, does not look good by any means. Jerm, you have female friends. I have female friends. I can tell you what I don't do with them: interlock fingers and then hug them awkwardly like that.
Yeah.
That's weird. But like it's one of those things where if you take that equation out of it, and if they're just chilling by the hot tub, chilling by the pool, maybe they're friendly. They've had years of rapport from her covering the NFL, covering the Pats. So I get it if they're friends, they're just chilling, but it does look like something more. And there's nothing else to cover right now. I mean, they're two grown adults making their own decisions. I do think the shitty part that it is affecting her career.
Yeah.
Right. He won't face any ramifications for it. He won't. I mean, I don't think he's not going to step down as head coach. He's not going to be fired. He's not going to be fined. She just resigned.
Yeah.
Because of everything that's happening, and it's being a huge talking point. They're questioning her caliber of reporting and how she's getting. It's not. I will say it's not fair to her in that sense. But also, I mean, like, man, let them be adults. This is what like drives me wild about like like celebrity culture to a certain extent. It's like, dude, let them go. Let them make their decisions. That's fine. I mean, yeah, sure. If it's uncovered that they're having some type of an affair, okay, they'll face that with their families. But like, should they be vilified for it? Then the way it's happening right now, where it's affecting her career? No, I don't personally think so. But to your point, I mean, now that all that came out, and then everybody's looking back at some of her interviews and pulling this out of it. Like, again, it's all just personal. So that's for me, it's like, okay, like big deal. If she wants to quote unquote, make comments about her husband in interviews, she can do that. That's her home life. But like, I don't think it should affect her jobs. And hopefully a network's smart enough to pick her up, to be honest with you.
The streets giveth and the streets taketh away, Bert.
That they do.
I agree with you. First off, she needs to stay out of the light for a minute. Like, this story has ruined her reputation. Like, but I read
that's the thing. It shouldn't have, right?
So here's the thing, though, because you brought up a good point. A lot of people are saying, "Well, why isn't Mike Vrabel getting any of this heat?" I'm going to tell you.
And for the record, I don't think he should get heat either. I don't think anything should happen to either of them. I think So listen, here's fine.
They're both married adults. They'll take the heat at home. The public shame is enough. Again, assuming that this is all there is, it's inappropriate at best and adultery at worst, right? So they'll deal with that at home. I don't know. Vrabel has been ducking the media. He's not doing any of the Patriots preseason conferences. He's skipping all that.
I think it's smart.
Which is smart. They need to let this natural. The draft is in 9 days.
There's nothing either of them can come out and say publicly that people still won't point to be like, well, I know they said that, but it doesn't matter because this is what I think.
And they
did.
This
is what I'm
they
running
both
with
came
it.
out and
they
said,
did.
and they did, and people didn't believe them.
There was support at first, and then no.
Yeah. So Russini. Here's the thing, though. Russini resigning is a red flag in terms of speculation and all this stuff, because if you were to believe that she was innocent, why? If I'm innocent, I'm not resigning from shit. The Athletic, from the jump, came out and publicly supported her, and then had their investigation. Then she resigned. Clearly, some type of silent firing, in my estimation, like just the way of the timeline of events. Because if there was really nothing, then they would do what Vrabel's doing and just let it pass. But
she can't do her job, though. I think is the difference in this situation, though. Even if she were not to comment, she wouldn't be able to carry on doing her job without someone bringing it back to this. So while I would ordinarily agree with you on the fact that, like, if you're resigning, it kind of looks more suspicious, I think she did it for two reasons. One, she referenced in the letter that her contract's up in June, and should she stay on and this continue to happen, it could affect the likelihood of obviously re-signing a contract at that point and maybe her employment in the future. But also, like, her ability to do her job and cover the NFL is being affected because of these rumors. So therefore, I would have likely done the same. And, look, take some time off, come back fresh somewhere else.
Yeah, but I mean, her resignation, when she said these public attacks against me, like,
yeah,
but you're a married woman gallivanting on what looks like a vacation with another married person. Like,
well, it was there to also cover a bit of,
and that's fine, but that's the point. You can't be the news and report the news at the same time, and that's the problem in this. This is why
facts,
Vrabel is not getting the heat, because his job isn't reliant on the relationships that you foster with being a head coach. Her job is completely reliant. Like, the coaches don't need the reporters to do their job. The reporters need the coaches and players and front office people and whoever. So if your job is to foster relationships, and and you're right, yes, on the surface there really isn't anything wrong with two adults doing that. Even if they were both single, nobody would care. It's the fact that they're married doing it. That's the story. But the funny thing is, and her reporting on AJ Brown, Eagles, Patriots stuff, and the Eagles fans are hilariously trying to dismiss that notion, which is pathetic to me, because if anything, it doesn't invalidate her reporting, it strengthens it. Who better a source on AJ Brown of the Patriots than the head coach, if that's what's going on? This is reckless speculation, but if she is doing whatever she's doing with Vrabel, if anything, I wouldn't ignore all the reporting on AJ Brown going to the Patriots. I would think long and hard about it, because very clearly there was something going on between AJ Brown and the Eagles / Jalen Hurts, right? And what's funny is that Eagles fans are, oh my God, she's trying to sabotage Jalen Hurts by using AJ Brown. No, Jalen Hurts is sabotaging Jalen Hurts. The Eagles, which is another funny thing, it's always, ever since they won the Super Bowl, and Howie we trust Howie, but yet you'll have Eagles fans shit on the coach that Howie Roseman picked and backed. You'll shit on the offensive coordinator that Howie Roseman picked. You'll shit on AJ Brown, a guy that Howie Roseman traded for, but you'll defend Jalen Hurts. So do you trust Howie or do you not? Because the Eagles actively allowed AJ Brown to be a distraction last year, right? They didn't stop him from talking. If anything, players agreed with him. Like, it's and now you hear that they're not even thinking about giving Jalen Hurts an extension, or they're hesitant to do it, which is hilarious. But yet they'll pretend that all of it is just made up slander to Jalen Hurts. No, the Eagles don't trust Jalen Hurts. They understand his position. It's the you fans that don't understand it. And this happening with Dianna Russini doesn't invalidate that, by the way. That's is it a coincidence? Sure. It's a coincidence because of the relationship. So it's not just speculation. It's not her trying to do Vrabel a solid. There's smoke there. And the Patriots are one of the teams that were interested. They don't have a number one receiver, but so are the Chargers. So were the Bills. There's plenty of teams. She's going to point out the Patriots for obvious reasons. That doesn't invalidate the reporting, though, which is something that I see a lot of Eagles fans trying to do. So, I don't know.
And you'll take every opportunity to bring it back to shitting on the Eagles, won't you?
Oh God, it's been a month. I haven't done it, and it just feels good. It's like
it feels like more than a hobby at this point.
Low hanging fruit, because we'll clip this and we'll put it out, and the Eagles fans are gonna, they're gonna try to dispute it, but they can't. So because it's true. You can't ignore this stuff. It's hilarious. So moving on, Bert, I'm gonna say something here.
Jesus,
I know I'm gonna sound like a curmudgeon, but I really don't like to see people happy.
No, no.
It really bothers me when I see fans keep up with people who are no longer on the team and actively root for them. And I keep seeing these Mets fans in these Mets pages post Pete Alonso highlights, and it makes my blood boil. The artist, formerly known as the Oakland Athletics, just swept the Mets for the first time in history, which wasn't bad enough. I see people happy that Jeff McNeil played well. And I got to tell you, I was furious. I was furious, not just because the Mets lost, but because why are you cheering for Jeff McNeil? Why are you keeping up with Pete Alonso? We are the Mets, okay? When you pick a team, you're not picking players. You're picking the laundry. You're picking the logo, all right? He's no longer on the team. If you're not wearing the colors that I will bleed and die for, then you're just in the way. And I'm tired of it. And the Mets suck right now. I don't know what's happening. But I don't want to see you be happy for other players that are no longer on the team. There are still Mets fans that are happy for Jacob deGrom. Fuck Jacob deGrom. Fuck Brandon Nimmo. Fuck Pete Alonso. Fuck Jeff McNeil. Fuck them all. Sorry.
I agree with you in normal regular season when after it's like their first homestand after they've left, you give them a cheer. That's it. Then fuck them.
Yeah.
The only time I think it's acceptable to cheer for them, you know me, I'm a hockey guy. Mm-hmm. If there's a, same thing for you, the basketball, if there's a trade and a fan favorite from your team went to a more competitive team that is now going far into a postseason, for me, I don't root for that team, but if that team wins, I'm happy for that player. They did so much great work for our team. I wish they were winning a championship for us, but they're not. Hey, it's good to see them get one or get a ring or like what that's where I will. But like, dude, posting highlights and saying I miss them, nah, unless they're retired, I'm not for it. They went somewhere else, whether by trade or by signing, like Pete Alonso did and Jeff McNeil. So, as far as I'm concerned, I do think that is very odd behavior. Like, dude, just root for your baseball team. That's me. You won't find any Yankee fans doing that. No.
Yeah, I noticed. Trust me, I'm trying to convert everybody because, like, to me, I'm with you 100%. When you put on a different jersey, like, fandom is a blood oath. So when you put on a different jersey for whatever reason, you're dead to me. You understand? Like, until
they take it off, and then once they're done and they retire, sure, appreciate the work that they did. It is what it is.
If Aaron Judge goes to the Red Sox,
he won't.
And he hit. I get that, but I'm saying, like, if he goes to the Red Sox and hits a home run game winner, like walk off against you, are you going to cheer for that? No. Again,
dude, if Aaron Judge goes to the Red Sox, the second he's up at bat, I'm turning my back to the stadium, risking my life, knowing that one home run could end me because I haven't been watching the ball coming my way, just to spite him. Like that's how much that would hurt me. I mean, does it help that in this hypothetical scenario he's going to one of our biggest rivals? Yes, but still, like, I mean, dude, when Robinson Cano went to Seattle after taking that monster deal and chose to not stay with the Yankees and getting more money, I think the same thing with Juan Soto too. And why, like, we were dogged by Met fans last year after booing him so hard because he was only with the team for what 1.5 seasons, 2 seasons. Like, oh well, like he chose more money over the Yankees, which I mean, to me, it's like, you either want to play with your guys and you want to win, or you want to go for more money. And look, I'm not dogging the Mets. I'm saying they on paper, they were certainly a competitive team last year. They can be competitive this year. But, for me, like at that point, and we've talked about this on the show countless times, like he was truly choosing the bag over everything because it was just pennies of the millionth dollar that he was choosing between. But yeah, no, the second he came back, I was rooting for his downfall last year. I was tracking every metric possible to point to the fact to say like, oh man, it sucks when you're not hitting behind Judge, like that's the thing. But yeah, man, I'm with you. I find that shit just as weird.
The only exception is the legend send off, right? Like that's like, unless you want a ring here, again, you're just a guy in the way. Like loyalty to me is a one-way street. Like I don't care about the brand. Okay. We carry the scars. Like you come to this team, Pete Alonso, I was a Met fan before you got here. I'm a Met fan after. I don't know. You fans out there, you stop being soft. Okay. He's not on the roster. He's the enemy, period. Like we have to go through you at some point to win the World Series. So I can only have energy and effort for players that are here now. And so I don't know. It's just to me, it's extremely lame. Like to have this emotional attachment. He's not on the team no more. Like give that energy to somebody who needs it. Support a member who's currently on the team. So I don't know. It just bothers me. But speaking of things that people hate.
Yeah.
Underachieving teams in MLB. Okay. I hate having the season start. I hate having these expectations, riding the high of the offseason, trying to see if all the new pieces are coming together. So let's hit the early panic meter on some MLB team or a player or whatever you got. Who do you think it's starting to get a little? I know it's early. It's like week 2, week 3 going on. It's dumb early.
Super
this
early.
Is way too early. But there are some teams that spent a lot of money. There are some teams that had a lot of expectations. Teams that were supposed to be at the top of the leaderboard, they're at the bottom. who should be hitting the panic meter this early in the season to you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with the sample size we have in the season, and just understanding that there's certainly the MLB is the longest season of all sports in itself, 162 games, which is way too long, but by standards, so we know it's going to be an up and down ride. No one's ever going to hit 100% consistency. But for me, the first thing I go to is, hey, how do you win games, Jerm? You put points on the board. How do you put points on the board? You drive runs in. Like that is the simplest metric in terms of, for me, like what team is not producing offense, whether they have a 500 record or, a losing record. And the team I picked as of right now kind of has both. They have a losing record and they have the worst run differential in the MLB, and that's the Houston Astros in itself. Now, I mean, regardless of what their spend is this year, if I'm picking any team or entity to hit some type of panic meter, it's that. And look, this is way too early. We know for a fact that, hey, at the snap of a finger, they can turn it around. They just need a good rally, right? I mean, the Yanks had a great start, and then now they're getting absolutely crushed by the Los Angeles Angels right now. So, anything can happen. But yeah, no, for me, it's Houston. There's something with their offense that needs to click. They need to put runs on the board, but I mean, defensively too, they've just been holy. And it's something you hate to see. Not me. I personally love to see it, but in all sense of this segment, I'm hitting that panic button all day. Now, there are other teams that are with them, right? Mm-hmm. You have the Rockies, you have the White Sox, even the Red Sox are down there too. But we all know that these can be competitive teams in the end. So that's why I'm not sweating it, and no one should. But if we're going to hit a too early panic button, which we love talking about too early panic buttons here, stuff about sports, it's definitely going in the Astros direction.
Another team, not the Yankees or the Mets, shockingly, but they are spending, or they have spent, like George Steinbrenner, Bert, playing like the Bad News Bears out here. Okay, the Toronto Blue Jays should be hitting that panic button right now.
Ironically enough, when we were on break, I went to Toronto, caught a game there. Rogers Center is fantastic, by the way. My second indoor stadium, Jerm, that I've been to outside. I went to Arizona. This one, I'm all for indoor ballparks. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah,
there you go.
It really is. Listen, if I can walk in and take my coat off in what is like 30-degree weather outside and be sweating inside watching baseball, and it's a gorgeous ballpark too. Yeah. But ironically enough, I'm so glad you mentioned this, because one of the teams I just mentioned are the Rockies, that I have the second to worst run differential in the league right now. And when we were there, they beat the Jays in extras. So, I mean, hey, hilarious. I think you're on the mark here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, you're
more
good.
About how they suck.
So I will definitely tell you how much they suck, but I am glad that you experienced another indoor park. We already everybody should have some sort of roof in football. I think we need to jump on the baseball, because I agree with baseball too, because I'm very sick of baseball games, because I don't like the way football's played in weather, but at least you can play it in weather, and they do. Yeah. Canceling baseball games because of rain is nonsense. It's fucking nonsense, bro. It sucks. So especially those day games where you take off of work, and especially like in New York, and it's a bitch to get to the stadium as it is, and they cancel the game.
Well, how about the stories I'm hearing too? Like these people, like I've seen look, we grew up blessed and growing up in an area where we had a couple of different ballparks, major league ballparks we can go to, all within a drive. Like, how about these individuals that are fans of teams that they're traveling to go see them? Yeah. The weekend you pick happens to be a shit weekend. Their game gets canceled. They issue you a ticket months later when you don't have the time off to take anymore. You don't, you can't go that weekend because you got someone's wedding to go to. So yeah, look, I get it. It could seriously ruin plans. So I'm with it. And at least with most of the ballparks and the two that I've been to that do have a roof, those roofs are retractable. You can get sunshine in when it's nice weather as well. And listen, I know we're going to get shit from the purist on this, but I got to tell you, it was phenomenal. It really was.
All you purists out there,
the Jays,
eat a dick. All right, so, oh no, not that one. Sorry. There we go. The Blue Jays, they're terrible. Yeah, like it's so you let.
Well, they lost some firepower too. Yep, Bichette.
Bo Bichette, you come to my Mets. You replaced them with some high-powered arms. You had Dylan Cease. You giving him $26 million a year, but he hasn't looked great. You have a $300 million payroll, which is the fifth highest, not just in this season, but in the history of the sport. And you're in the basement. Like, So at 300 million for let's a quick comparison, the Brewers have like $130 million payroll, and they're carving people up. Like so, like you can't be spending 170 million more dollars than another team and have the worst record. Like it's, you paid Vlad Jr., which a lot of people were like, okay, and
yeah, kind of had to do that.
yeah, I mean, did you though? Because it's like, again, teams like the Brewers, historically teams like the Rays, who haven't had high payrolls, have found a way to be competitive. You can't like you paid because he's a star, which I get, but he's not. You have to carry the team too. So, they try to buy some pitching, but that shit don't matter if the lineup is not hitting the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Mets could go in this category easily. You have a $360 million payroll, but you have the excuse that the division is not out of control yet, and Juan Soto's been out, and so you have some pieces out. So it's not terrible. And then, like you mentioned, the Rockies, who are the worst team in baseball again, but they have $105 million payroll, so they're not really ready to compete anyway. But the Blue Jays took a huge swing and a huge miss, and they don't really have any redeeming qualities that, like, at least I could say with the Mets, when Juan Soto gets back, it'll be okay, and some other things happen, it'll be fine. I am a little bit worried. I'm more worried about the pitching than I originally was going into it, but yeah. Blue Jays, you suck. If you're a Jays fan, start drinking heavy, because it's going to be a long year. It's kind of like the summer's going to be long for you, if it's going to continue to go like this. So as we transition from the baseball diamond to the hardwood and the ice, NBA playoffs are here.
Yeah.
NHL playoffs. Well, I should say NBA play-ins are here. And then NHL playoffs getting underway. Almost there. NBA has to get through
I think the West. I think the East is pretty set. I think it's the West that's just wrapping up. I mean, we got two days left in the regular season, so we'll see what pulls through. The West is certainly the more competitive conference, to say the least. But listen, the first time that not the first time, but the Devils, the Islanders, and the Rangers, I think the first time in history that all three have not made the playoffs. The Rangers for the second year in a row. So, listen, I'm always sad when my team doesn't make it in. However, I do find it more enjoyable to watch playoff hockey when they're not, probably because it doesn't feel like my heart's going to seize up at any fucking moment. Yeah. But listen, the East is set through and through. It looks like we have Buffalo and Boston, and I think some of this might change depending on the wild card seedings overall, but we'll likely have Buffalo and Boston, Tampa and Montreal, and the Hurricanes, Jerm, who had clinched the East against Ottawa. And then the battle for Pennsylvania, as it looks like right now, the Philadelphia Flyers sneaking into the playoffs after 6 years is huge. They're, no pun intended, a gritty franchise, and young too, which will help them, but going up against a very experienced Penguins team as well, which might be the last go for some of those guys too. So, I mean, overall, some really awesome matchups. Let me tell you the team I'm most excited for, and it's the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, buddy.
It really is.
Yeah.
They've had a huge playoff drought. I've watched this team, from being in the East, like year over year. It's like one of those teams where, like they have potential. They always draft well. They have such a young core. Guys don't end up staying there. I mean, you had huge guys like Jack Eichel end up leaving the organization, going to Vegas. He has a cup there too, after leaving Buffalo. And, it's just kind of a franchise like, if you're not playing for them, you're rooting, or if you're not playing them, you're rooting for them. And I think they have some great young talent. They've got some big bodies on their team and consistent good goaltending, which we know in the playoffs is what's going to get you far. So I do like them over Boston. And honestly, I like them to reach at least an Eastern final. I think the juggernaut is definitely the Hurricanes, but we know that they love choking, especially once they get up to the final. So we'll see what happens there too. But I will be watching. If it ends up being Penguins Flyers, I'll be watching that series very closely, because that's going to get rough. And first round of the playoffs, when they're just absolutely going for it. Man, I live for that. That's just great. The Canadians too, this is the first time they've been in it after a while as well. They also have a young core coached by Marty St. Louis too, former player, former Ranger, great hockey player too. So it's good to see. I mean, he turned that franchise around when I think 2 years in a row they were at the bottom of the barrel, like worst team ever, and has since turned it around and really got those boys going too. So that's going to be exciting to watch. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say I do think the Stanley Cup champion will once again emerge, or not once again, but will come to the West again for the first time since I think Vegas 3 years ago. Man, the Avalanche, everything is telling me that they're just going to absolutely stomp all the way through, much like they did the regular season. They absolutely cruised through, and we knew back in December that they were going to basically win the league, which is what they did. They're going up against, as of right now, I think a Kings team. I don't know if that's going to change in the next 2 days. Kings have been very much up and down. I think that's going to be an easy sweep series. What I would love to see from the West more than anything else, and just to, the preview itself here, we've got like Avalanche, Kings, we got Dallas, the Wild, and then we have Vegas, Mammoth. Great to see the Mammoth in there, Jerm. That you want to talk about expansion team playoff? That's that series right there. You have the Vegas Golden Knights, and not expansion so much because we know Utah, they moved from Arizona, but second year in the new spot, first year with the new mascot and logo and name in the playoffs against Vegas, which is just so awesome to see. Then you have the Oilers and the Ducks, which the battle for orange, as I'm going to call it too. Now, I know there's a lot of people, especially Canadians, especially in Edmonton, rooting for Edmonton to finally get back. Now that their nemesis from the East, the Panthers, are missing the playoffs, and they just had an injury-riddled season overall. But look, dude, I'm telling you right now, if it's not the Avs in the West, it's Dallas. And they've made the Western Conference Finals the last 3 years. All 3 of those years lost. So whether it was to Vegas or Edmonton twice, bust. And they fired Peter DeBoer at the end of last year. They said, listen, it's the third time you went, you couldn't get it done. You're gone. So new coach, still consistent team, right? I mean, they did fantastic. They are looking to be a favorite. The thing is, with the way the seeding is right now, it looks like in order for them to make it to the final, they would have to go through the Avs. Because they don't reseed. So if it stays as is, they'll have to go through the Avs. And honestly, if nothing else, as a hockey fan, that would be a fantastic series to watch in just the second round of the playoffs. And could really open up that other bracket too. I mean, you have Vegas and Utah, you have the Oilers and the Ducks as well. And it's basically just going to be like, all right, well, who's going to go up to get trounced by either Dallas or the Avs? What it's going to come down to. But look, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. We'll update next week when we're back as well in terms of my predictions. Once everything is set, I'll fill out an entire bracket. I don't care. But look, sad my team's not in it, but I think I'm going to enjoy it this year for sure.
Yeah. Is there like a team that you would say is a Cinderella, like a team that's not really expected to do anything, but could make some noise? Is there anything that fits that bill that you like?
I mean, I'd love to see the Ducks back in there, right? I mean, if we're looking at true Cinderella, I think we got to look to the wild cards, the ones that are kind of creeping in there too. So I'll have to take Utah as well. Yeah. On the east side, maybe Ottawa.
Yeah.
They seem to have some sort of sense of implosion year over year, but honestly, not a wild card team, and it pains me to say it, but I think there's probably a gritty Cinderella story in the Flyers in itself, right? Especially now that they're back and the energy's there too. I mean, look, we know better than anybody else in all sports. All you have to do is make it.
Yeah.
And then you can go on that run. I mean,
for sure.
The Kings, the 2 times that they won, once against the Devils, against the Cup, and then winning the Cup against my New York Rangers in the final, years ago, like both of those runs came from wild card runs. So, I mean, we could see that happen again with another team. Florida, when they played Vegas in the final 3 years ago, because they won the last 2 years, they were a wild card team, made it to the final, got smacked around by Vegas, but then came back the next 2 years and won it all. So, but yeah, if we're looking for a Cinderella story, I'd probably have to say Utah, if not the Flyers.
Nice. Like the NBA playoffs, a little bit more black and white. I think, as much as I hate to admit it, the Thunder are probably heavy favorites. Like they've just been so dominant all year that I couldn't really make a case for anybody else. Like they're young, they're rested, they have the numbers. Like it's just been a whole thing. Like they're just dangerous overall. So I think they're going to have a player that's most likely going to win MVP again, and say Gilgeous Alexander. However you feel about his style of play, I just think I think he's good enough. I think what they've built around him and how they constructed that team and the pieces they have, they're gonna be a tough out. Like I think they're gonna win the West. Um, I don't think the Celtics or the Pistons or the Cavaliers, whichever one of those three teams comes out of the East, I don't think they have enough juice. I don't think anybody in the West has enough juice. Um, which brings me to my most dangerous team, like a team that I think could give them a run in the West. It would probably be the San Antonio Spurs. Like if I had to pick one, just Wemby is a freak of nature. It'd be hard to discount Denver with Jokic, but I just think that when you think about matchups, because the NBA is definitely a game of matchups. You can be a superior team, but if the other team has players that are just close enough, you can disrupt some schemes and throw off what you have going. But the Thunder have a player that averages 31 points per game, shoots 55% as a guard. Like that's video game numbers. Like that's an insane stat. And the team itself, as the old adage says, defense wins championships. The Thunder have the number one defensive rating in the NBA. So they're just a super stacked team. They've built it right. They've lost for a lot of years. They've got a lot of draft picks, and they've built it. They've built it right. But when I say the Spurs are dangerous, that they went from being a project with Wemby. They have 62 wins this year, so a quiet 62 wins out of an 82 game season, and so that would be the only team that I think could give them a run for their money. The problem is, outside of Wemby and maybe Stephon Castle, there's not much going for them. I think Wemby's the best defensive player in the year in the league, and I think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. De'Aaron Fox, he needs to step back into that closer role for them to have a chance, which is what they traded him for. But other than that, that's the only other team I can think of in the entire NBA that could give the Thunder some problems. If I had to pick a Cinderella, I'm not gonna go Philly. I just think not having Joel Embiid, of course, he has appendicitis. This motherfucker would get the Black Plague and find a way to get hurt. Like this dude will get MRSA or some shit, some random shit that nobody else gets. I'm just over it. Like I want the Sixers to trade him. I'm tired of seeing his face. The Sixers don't have the depth to compete, not just in the East, but for a title. So I'm over that. I'm happy they made it. They're in the play-in. They're going to play the Magic at home. They should beat the Magic, but after that, I don't expect them to do anything. But a team that started off really hot, then cooled down, but then got hot again towards the end of the season, the Charlotte Hornets. Like I think they can make some real noise. Like since the All-Star break, they were the hottest team in the league. Like I think they won 33 games on the second half of the season. LaMelo Ball, finally healthy. He's averaging 7 assists a game. I think he's up to almost 300 I think he's second in the NBA in 3-point shooting. They have what presumably is, if he's not the Rookie of the Year, he'll probably be the runner-up. I think Cooper Flagg did just enough at the end of the season to steal Rookie of the Year, but I think Con Knipple has been better more consistently. But what Cooper Flagg did at the end of the season was kind of otherworldly. He had a couple 40-point games in there. He made a really strong case. I think also the label of being the number 1 overall pick kind of gives you a boost when it comes to accolades like Rookie of the Year. But I think Con Knipple has been more consistent. But the Hornets, they're a great road team. They won 17 of their last 21 road games. So obviously, being a play-in or a low seed, are going to be playing on the road at the beginning of the playoffs. I just think they've been under the radar because of their history of being terrible. But their roster is pretty good. Like, I think I think they could definitely make some noise. I think trading for Kobe White from Chicago has been an X factor since April, or in April so far this year, or this month. He's averaged 20 points per game just in time for the playoffs. So shout out to the Charlotte Hornets, man. I again, out of all the teams, the lower seeded teams that I think could disrupt some things and make some noise in the playoffs, Charlotte has just consistently surprised me all season. So if they can make some noise, man, might see some playoff basketball in Buzz City in Charlotte. So we'll see. Bert, do you have a game ball you want to give out?
So before yesterday's Ranger game, Jonathan Quick, the most winningest goaltender, American-born goaltender, decided that he's calling it quits. He's retiring. He's 40 after 20 years in the league. He's got 3 cups, 2 with the Kings, one with Vegas as a backup. And honestly, has served fantastic as the Rangers backup the last 3 seasons maybe. And just hell of a career, man. It's just the accolades between winning the Conn Smythe. I think he's got a Vezina too, and 3 Stanley Cups as well. And he's an instant Hall of Famer. He's going right into Toronto as well. So he certainly gets my game ball.
My game ball is going out to the entire WNBA. They've pulled off a WNBA draft. 2 expansion teams, or 2 expansion teams being added to the list. Another fresh off of a collective bargaining agreement. You have the Portland Fire. You have the Toronto Tempo joining the league. You'll have Cleveland, Philly, and I can't remember the third team. There's a third team joining in the next, by 2030. Philly's the last team to join in 2030. I think you got one team joining next year, another one joining the year after that, and then the Philly team will start up in 2030. But you have what's her name? Gray. I think her name is Gray. First WNBA player to get $1 million contract off the fresh collective bargaining agreement. So Jackie Young for the Las Vegas Aces, that's her name. So she got a $1.19 million contract. Historic stuff for the WNBA. More $1 million contracts to come. Kelsey Plum actually took a $99,999 contract because she plays in LA and she didn't want to get taxed more for being a millionaire. So she signed that.
Smart.
That 6-9 contract so she could stay under the $1 million tax bracket. So shout out to the WNBA as a whole. Shout out to Jackie Young for being the first $1 million player, or get the $1 million contract for the WNBA. So it's a good thing. But Bert, this was fun.
Yeah, glad to be back.
We'll definitely be back at it next week. Bert, you stay out of Sedona. Stay away. Hey, listen. NFL season, the draft is in 9 days. We don't need your penis hanging around Mina Kimes because we need her for that NFL coverage, and I don't need you distracting her.